Hello and welcome to the very first episode of Innov'Nation. I'm your host, Lynn Plachmeijer, bringing you all the latest from the heart of the startup nation. Today's episode is all about biotech. Israel is making more and more waves in this field, but what does it actually mean? We'll break it down for you, but first, our headlines. The first ever human trial of an engineered spinal cord is set to begin right here in Israel. Protein extracted from the joints of insects, how do they do it? And an Albanian AI minister announces that she will have 83 children. We'll take you behind the headline. Amid rockets, war, and geopolitical tension, Israel is quietly making strides in a cutting-edge field, namely biotech. As the name suggests, biotech combines biology with technology, using science and innovation to create new medicines, treatments, and solutions that could change healthcare as we know it. So for more, we are now joined by Matti Gill, CEO of Ion Labs. Mr. Gill, thank you so much for being here tonight. Before we talk about your company, let's look at the bigger picture, because what is happening here in Israel when it comes to biotech? What does biotech exactly mean, and why Israel? Why now?
So thank you for having me, and congratulations on this amazing show. And hopefully we'll be able to tell some great stories from Israel to the rest of the world.
Let's hope so.
So biotech is a great industry to tell stories of, because when we actually succeed in biotech, we have the chance to solve amazing challenges that can actually impact human life. And what does that mean? In our industry of the biotech and pharma industry specifically, we understand how human disease mechanisms work. We discover new drugs that can then treat patients and then bring them through clinical trials to make sure that they're both safe and efficient and ultimately be able to save lives. Mm-hmm. And that's what's amazing about our industry, because you can do very well and you can make a lot of financial returns. But by definition, when you are successful, you are also changing the world for better. And that's something that I think is inherently special for Israel, because we have something unique in that our entrepreneurs want to go into industries where they can actually change the world and make it a better place.
But why is it because Israel has like the best scientists, the best entrepreneurs? Like, what is it about Israel specifically?
So sure, all of the above. What Israel has is a few core ingredients that go into making us potentially one of the top 10 innovative hubs for the pharma industry and for the biotech industry in the world. Number one, we have great universities and great academic research in the life sciences space, starting with the Weizmann Institute, which is ranked number 6 in the world, all the way up north to the Technion and everywhere in between with the Hebrew University, Tel Aviv University, Bar Ilan, etc. We also have great tech leadership and AI and technology leadership, which in the biotech industry is becoming increasingly important for the future of the pharma industry. It used to not be that important, but AI is becoming increasingly important, and it's probably the last industry to effectively include artificial intelligence and computational technologies, which Israel has demonstrated leadership in. And third is we have a great medical healthcare system with great data, digitalized. Going back decades, we were pioneers in that space, and we have the capability to both learn from that data and then test it out at great university hospitals throughout the country. And last, we have the people that can actually connect bio with the tech to very different scientific disciplines that can then create products and turn them into great companies. So with those 4 ingredients, great life sciences, great tech, great medical healthcare systems, and great entrepreneurs, we have the capability to be a leader and to be one of the top innovative hubs for the world of the pharma industry going towards the future.
Well, it certainly sounds that we have all the ingredients. Stay with us, please, because we'll be back with you in a second. Because first, what if paralysis didn't have to be permanent? Researchers at Tel Aviv University are turning that question into reality. After engineering a human spinal cord in the lab and testing it successfully on animals, the team is now preparing for the first human trials. Emily Francis went to Tel Aviv University to see this groundbreaking research up close.
Every year around the world, as many as 500,000 people experience spinal cord injuries leading to paralysis and a life that will never be the same. Until now.
A drug cannot bring a new liver, a new brain, or new spinal cord. So what we are providing here is a potential to cure all those diseases that drugs cannot.
You heard it correctly. Brilliant minds in the startup nation are just steps away from helping wheelchair-bound patients walk again.
We provide the missing link, the missing part. However, the body, in order to walk, in order to function, you need to train back the patient, these abilities.
There is something special. Here we are thinking outside of the box. We are survivors, and we know how to take a little and make plenty out of it. So now I can show you how our tissue looks like. We have here in the fridge a sample of tissues.
Welcome to the lab at Matriself, a biotech company where this talented team is literally growing new spinal tissue from the patient's own body.
Here we have the engineered neural tissue that were generated from the induced pluripotent stem cells.
Yep, it's sci-fi meeting reality.
He is actually the donor for himself. So we will take a blood sample, and then we will take a fatty tissue from the abdomen. And from these two small samples, we will generate a tissue. But also the fatty tissue will give us a scaffolding material which supports the cells and allow them to generate the functional neural tissue that we need.
This promising technology is the brainchild of renowned scientist, Professor Tal Dvir of Tel Aviv University's Sagol Center for Regenerative Biotechnology.
And we'll process it to become a hydrogel. Together with the cells, we will mimic the embryonic development of the spinal cord, eventually transplanting this personalized tissue into the patient in hope that this patient will start walking once again.
Already proven successful with paralyzed rats who were walking and running within days, Israel's Ministry of Health has given preliminary approval to begin compassionate use trials on 8 Israeli patients.
It's a part of a national pride to have this thing be tested and treating the first patient in Israel.
So how exactly do we know on a nano level that it works?
We call it genetic engineering and tissue engineering. We convert that into a functional neural network, which mimics the same way how the original spinal cord looked like before the injury.
Here we can see very nicely that the tissue that we are generating are really happy to connect with one another. If you can see here, we have like 2 tissues, one here and one here. These are engineered neural tissue that we have generated, and they are sending extension of the neurons, of the axons, one toward the other. So what we see here is electrical activity or electrical neural activity, and this is actually the final proof in vitro, in culture, that our engineered tissue are functional.
It takes about 6 months in the lab for the patient's cells to regenerate into neural tissue before transferring it back into the patient.
You take these pieces of tissues and you place them, and you fill the cavity. And this is the magic. They start to sending signals to the host. Now this tissue needs to communicate, and you see a signal passes from north to south, from up to down.
Wow.
And that happens within weeks.
And the timing is of the essence, as thousands of young IDF soldiers and reservists have become disabled during the war against Hamas, many of whom are now paralyzed. But first, they will perform trials on paralyzed patients with blunt traumas.
Spinal cord injury is very local. We know that where is the communication cut off, and we place our product implant in that area, and you can measure quite easily the effect. We provide the ability to close that circuit again, because now, because this works independently and the brain works independently, and we just make make the connection, but you need to train this thing again.
And when these patients learn to walk again, it will pave the way for a future where paralyzed people around the world will have hope of rising out of their wheelchairs once and for all.
And we're back in studio now with the CEO still of Ion Labs, Matti Gill, but we're also introducing Lena Iskov. Welcome to you as well. Thank you for joining the program. First, Matti, let's go back to you because you're the CEO of Ion Labs. Can you tell us a little bit about what you do and what kind of, because I imagine that Ion Labs is kind of like a startup factory for biotech. Is that correct?
Actually, that's pretty accurate.
Okay.
We're a venture studio, which basically means that we build startups. And it was founded by an amazing group of partners, 4 pharma companies, Pfizer, AstraZeneca, Merck, and Teva, together with Amazon Web Services from the computational side, and 2 venture capital funds, Israel Biotech Fund and Amiti. And it was actually catalyzed by the Israel Innovation Authority that was the catalyst behind us being built. And we build startups that connect AI and artificial intelligence, cutting-edge technology, with drug discovery and development, and everywhere from how we use big data and artificial intelligence to understand the diseases that we suffer from work so we could treat them better, and then through the discovery of new drugs and approval of them all the way through FDA.
So what are the major breakthroughs that have already come out of your lab? Is there an example?
So, yeah, we have a great company that is asking a what-if question. What if we can actually use artificial intelligence to be able to make CRISPR technologies, gene editing technologies, that won Nobel Prizes, but were not able to yet administer to any patient around the world? What if we could actually use artificial intelligence to be able to scale that technology up and treat anyone in the world and to be able to cure their diseases by editing their genes in a scalable manner throughout the world? A company called Cassidy Bio. It's an amazing company built by a few entrepreneurs that came from both the biotech background as well as from a high-tech background. And they've been able to actually prove within 1 year that they can beat the current state of the art and to be able to scale up those technologies so we can save lives with artificial intelligence connected with biology.
Amazing. And I have to say, biotech is not only about drug development, of course, because next up, we're talking about protein, but not the kind you put in shakes. This protein comes from insect joints and makes everything bounce, stretch back, and spring back. Welcome to the world of Resilin. We're now joined by Lena Iskov. You're the VP of Business Development at Smart Resilin, where you use this amazing elastic material to make new products. My first question was about how do you extract it, but I understand that's not the case at all. You don't extract it.
Exactly. That's exactly the biotechnology here comes in. So what we are doing is mimicking the nature. As we know, nature had created the best materials. It had billions of years of evolution, which humanity did not yet. So what we are doing is just taking the DNA, and specifically the DNA of this protein from insects, and recreating it in bacteria. So we actually program the bacteria to produce this specific protein, and that's how we do it. We don't harm any insects or any. No, we don't extract anything.
And you brought something for us.
Yeah.
This is the Resilin we were talking about, right? The bouncy thing.
Yeah, actually, the Resilin itself, as we get it, is a powder, just a whitish powder. So what we can do is formulate it further and mimic the nature further. So because in nature it creates like a gel-like substance. So that's what we do. And actually, you can see that we create rubber-like materials here as well from Resilin. It's completely biodegradable, completely ecological, natural, bio-based. So all these taglines that we really want to hear today in industries, because industries become more and more responsible and they're looking for more sustainable solutions. This is also like small gel formulation, which can fill any void. Like today we are doing a shoe, like footwear. So we are filling the midsole of the shoe with this protein-based rubber-like material, and this will bounce the runners when they run, and also prevent injuries.
Okay.
And this is a film. So our resident is a filmmaker, It has filmmaking, film former properties. So we can form any films for anything like packaging, adhesive, or cosmetics. So that's
okay.
Yeah. So
because this brings me to my next point. Because cosmetics, I hear this is what everybody is waiting for. The cosmetics line, the hairline, because everybody wants that very straight hair, that elastic hair with the natural glow. And I hear your product is in making for this.
Yeah, exactly. So we have already developed a hair relaxing formulation and post-treatment formulation. So actually, Resilin here acts as a film former, which today mostly made by silicons. They're still fossil-based. They're amazing material, but they have some sustainability problems. So we are replacing those silicons and also other materials in formulations and creating also hair straightening solutions and anti-aging solutions by using this elasticity and resilience of our protein. And also we're working on some replacement of some powders and makeups. So a lot of cosmetics will contain resin soon.
Yes, and I think this is what everybody is looking for.
Yeah.
Thank you so much to you both, Matti Gill, CEO of Aeon Labs, and Lena Ishkov, VP of Business Development at Smart Resilin. Thank you
for
both.
having us. Thank you.
Well, you probably know it. You might even use it every day for your travels, the Waze app. This essential GPS based on live information sharing helps you avoid traffic jams and even fines. And it's an app made in Israel. Let's take a look.
Arriving at your destination as quickly as possible while avoiding traffic jams and even speeding tickets. That's Waze's promise. It all started in 2006. Ehud Shabtai received a portable GPS navigator. The problem, the device didn't warn of traffic jams or speed cameras. The young Israeli, fresh out of computer science school, set about improving his GPS. 2 years later, with the help of 3 friends and $55 million in funding, they launched Waze, a 100% free app, capable of calculating routes in real time, taking into account traffic jams, accidents, roadworks, speed cameras, and shortcuts. Waze is powered by direct contributions from drivers who report incidents to enrich the database and also warn other nearby road users. Result, the more drivers participate, the more accurate the app's information becomes. In 2013, the app was acquired by the American giant Google. Transaction amount, $1.15 billion. 17 years after its launch, Waze remains the benchmark for GPS navigation. Nearly 150 million people use this app every month in 185 countries. But the app also has its weaknesses. To avoid traffic jams in cities, Waze can send drivers on detours of several miles. So the shortest route isn't always the fastest.
Well, the New York mayoral race is sending ripples through the Israeli tech community. Guy Franklin, founder and CEO of Israeli Mapped in NY, warns that US talent could think twice before joining an Israeli company, highlighting what some are calling the Mamdani effect. I24 News host and correspondent Nicole Zedek now joins us. Nicole, what are the main concerns?
Well, Lynn, I think it's pretty clear for many people watching the New York City mayoral race that the outcome could have ripple effects, as you said, far beyond the Big Apple, especially here in Israel. Now, right now, New York City is a booming tech hub for so many Israeli startups, hundreds of Israeli startups, in fact. However, it's this fear, the Mamdani effect, basically the fear that Zohran Mamdani's politics could have some very negative outcomes specifically for Israeli businesses. And there's a few reasons for this, Lynn. There's one, the first fact that Mamdani is a self-proclaimed democratic socialist. So there's already just the fear that his rent freezes and economic reforms could certainly discourage small business growth. But surprisingly, this really isn't the main fear for many of these Israeli startups. It's more about perception. The fact that the city's top leader has this anti-Israel, even at times anti-Semitic rhetoric. And what that then means for many of these Israeli companies, not only what it means for the investors that may stop wanting to work with some of these Israeli businesses, also what it might mean for some of the American workers that could be reluctant to join some Israeli startups over fear of social backlash. or wanting to not really face this taboo. So this is truly what we're seeing. Not only this, trying to get different workforce, different investors to really fund these major Israeli startups, but also the perception of if there is this anti-Semitic, anti-Israel rhetoric coming from the city's top leaders, what does that mean for some of the city's programs as well inside New York City? It can definitely chill some of these relationships, Lynn, when it comes to corporate partnerships, to even city-backed innovation programs. So these are some of the main fears we're hearing from some of these Israeli entrepreneurs, let alone also what it would mean for their lifestyle. Many of these entrepreneurs, they come there with big dreams, bringing their family there. It's the largest Jewish population outside of Israel, so it's been a great place for them to not only start business, but to create a life. But what would the future mean then if not only these politics start spreading out into more of the similar mindset in other New York City citizens as well? And so this is some of the fear that we're seeing. Are these then Israeli entrepreneurs going to be moving their shop from New York City to maybe some places with more neutral politics and still business-friendly places such as Miami or even Austin, Texas? These are some of the cities that are being floated. So no matter how you spin it, there's certainly some concern for these Israeli entrepreneurs. But right now, they're waiting to see what happens in the future and what happens for their business.
Well, we have to see how this plays out. Hopefully, it's just a New York issue and it won't detail any broader issue in the world when it comes to Israeli tech industry. Nicole Zedek, I24 News, host and correspondent, thank you for joining us. Now on to this. An AI-appointed minister in Albania has announced that she is pregnant and she will have 83 children. I24 News host and correspondent Natasha Kurczak joins us now. What on earth is going on here? How is this possible?
No, it's a bit of a bizarre story. Last month, the Albanian prime minister essentially appointed an artificial intelligence minister, the first of its kind in the world. Her name is Djela. Basically, that means son in Albanian. And she's not a human. She's not a robot. She's essentially a super smart digital system built by Microsoft. This is AI that is used to keep an eye on every single government purchase. She watches how spending is done when it comes to roads, schools, supplies, you name it, essentially making sure that nobody is pocketing money on the side and, carrying out corrupt behavior. That could be from scanning thousands of bids, for example, in seconds, spotting anything fishy like contracts that might be run by family members of people in the government, for example. And she can predict fraud. She can write reports, basically act like a 24/7 watchdog. So, of course, the question is, how can this AI system give birth?
Yeah, how?
Very,
and also to 83.
Yes, to 83 children. Well, yes. So Albania has basically been trying to kind of present itself as a tech-forward, innovative country in this bid to enter the European Union and get membership. And so now this latest announcement by the prime minister is saying we have 83 mini AI assistants that have been born to Djela, and what they're going to do is be assistants to every single one of the members of parliament in Albania. All 83 members of parliament, they're going to be digital helpers that essentially draft laws, answer citizen complaints, you name it. The idea is to, make the government more efficient as a whole. And if this actually works, hopefully the rest of the world is going to follow suit.
Okay. So it's basically everybody just gets a
personal AI assistant. No one's giving birth unless, I don't know, there's something I'm unaware of.
That would be the next new thing. Okay, you also have something for us in the world of soccer, a game changer.
Yes, FIFA. We're all waiting for 2026 FIFA World Cup. And Adidas has officially dropped the new ball that's going to be used in that game. It's called Trionda. Tri is to represent the three host countries of the FIFA World Cup, which is Canada, Mexico, and the U.S. And Onda is wave, basically symbolizing the energy, the excitement, the flow of these new games. And this very special ball is unique, not only because of its colors and how pretty it is, but because it has a tiny motion sensor chip within its center. Basically, this chip tracks every single movement. We're talking touches, passes, goals, you name it, in real time. And that data is transferred over immediately to referees, and it helps them make faster and more accurate decisions. And that's important, obviously, because if you watch football, you know how emotional things can get. People get mad at the referee. Yes. Now they have real-time data through this ball that they can use to prove that they were right.
Being from Holland, I know all about referees messing up all 100%. The time. So my country supports this 100% probably.
You can actually buy this ball for $170 as well.
Oh, amazing. Okay. Before we run out of time, just shortly, because there's a game changer also within the robot sector. It will do all your housework for you.
Yeah.
What is this new robot?
Everyone's talking about this $20,000 robot maid that you can now buy in your home. Really big deal. For $499 a month, you have a robot that essentially folds your laundry, does your dishes. But there's a bit of a catch here, and that is that it's not autonomous. It requires you signing a waiver, which allows basically humans to help the robot carry out its tasks through your house, looking into your house. So very cool entity, but I'm not sure if I would buy it.
Yeah, okay, that sounds nice but creepy. Thank you, Natasha Gertek, i24 News host and correspondent. That's all we have time for today. Join us next week when we dive into the world of AI. I'm your host, Lim Plagmeijer. Thank you for watching and have a great night from Tel Aviv.